Attention, everybody. The views expressed here on Brighter Living Live are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and nonprofits. So without any further ado, it's Steve on Mickey Mac. Attack with
Yeah, go
following the bird attack. I don't know.
Yes,
There we go.
that
Back-
was good.
Take it
Better
away.
than the sack.
Take it away. We got Steve over here. Take it away, Steve.
Well, good morning, Facebook land, Twitter land, and whatever land there is out there.
There's all kinds of lands.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Just, I don't want any swamp land.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From
From
California
to the
New
New
York
York Island.
Nobody knows the rest of it. These waters. There we go.
Watermelon.
What? Alligator.
Yeah,
Watermelon. Let's just say watermelon alligator.
That'll work. This is my
I guess.
great and wonderful
Whoa, now stop.
Oz.
Stop.
He's the station manager, but he's also my director, producer.
I guess director. You're the producer,
Yeah.
technically. I think because you're the one that gets the stuff out. And then Jay's coming in now. Jay,
Jay the man.
you just about tripped over your walker.
That's okay.
That's irony at its best, I guess, right there.
Welcome, Jay.
Irony is tripping over a walker.
Yeah, something.
I mean that's kind of like a walker,
morning.
anti-walker. Good morning, Jay.
Hello. Testing.
Those headphones are really quiet usually.
yeah.
Okay.
that's
How you
good.
feel there?
Me?
You're
Yeah. All right.
You're looking good.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Look at this. Look at the way his eyes are going back and forth. He's like, thank you.
I must have missed something.
You did. No.
We just got done singing "This Land Is Your Land." It's
And
the
we
you
forgotten
did?
Land. Yeah.
Hey, we were doing it.
From California to the New York Island.
and then we went.
Water. Because nobody really knows the
Those
rest
are
of
words.
that song. Except for
You
this
know the
land
words,
was made.
send
for
it
you
to
and
us. No.
me. No, I can sing some military type songs like from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli,
Very good.
we'll fight our nation's battles. That's all I got on that one.
That's all you got, huh?
The United States Marines.
Yeah, very good.
Hey, I know that part of it.
And you'd think that I would know the Navy thing,
Yeah.
Anchors
Away,
away,
my boy, anchors away, sail on to victory and sink their bones to Davy Jones today.
I know.
Over hill, over dale. No, that's part of it.
Oh.
Sink the bones to Davy Jones today. Over hill, over dale, as we hit the dusty trail when the caissons come rolling along.
And that was dedicated to all you veterans.
And then what's the other one? There's another one. All right, so I'm in the army now. I'm not behind the plow. I'll never get rich by digging a ditch. I'm in the army now. That's one, right?
Yeah, well, I've.
Is that one, Jay?
Close.
Yeah,
What's the
close,
army
but
one?
No cigar.
I don't know.
Be all that you can be.
I remember that commercial.
That's a
It's a
big time.
Ooh,
The Marines commercial used to be pretty cool. Like it showed this knight fighting this dragon with this sword, and then he holds it up and he's victorious, and it gets struck by lightning, and then his whole outfit changes from like the knight gear, which I guess would be called armor, to the dress uniform of a Marine.
Yes.
The few, the proud,
The
the Marines.
Yes.
So, as an American, I feel I can say that.
It's not just an adventure.
As
It's not just a job. It's an adventure. That was the Navy's thing for.
Oh, it's not just a job; it's an adventure. People shooting at you all the time. That's
It's-
adventurous.
Believe me, when I was on ship, it was adventurous.
Our buddy Barney, he went through boot camp, and he said his favorite part was throwing the grenades. That was his favorite
mine was
part.
actually fighting fire.
He's like,
No.
my arms are long like a monkey's. I could
No,
really lob that grenade way out there, and he would blow up, be real loud.
That's
Barney.
I was just kidding about the
rocket launcher.
the,
He'd love the
fire,
rocket
because
Put
learning
something
how to
heavy on
hold the hose, hosing down the fire.
Oh, yeah.
in an oil tanker.
You ever had one of those hoses get away from you?
Yes.
There's a certain way you got to do it, otherwise you will get cracked upside the head. Boy, I tell you what.
Well, during initiation, you do.
You have to wrestle a hose. When I was on the
no, you get whipped by one.
when I was on the fire department, that's one of the classes that they teach you when you take firefighter 1 and 2 is how to wrestle a runaway hose.
No, I was
One
kid-
person can't wrestle a 5-inch hose.
I was
Turn
kidding,
the
but
water off?
I have been whipped by one.
A lot of times,
Not hard, but
I mean, it takes a long time to turn the water off because when you drop it,
Well,
everybody's
hello,
in
Tanner.
immediate danger.
Right.
So you have to start by where it's not flopping around and choke it and walk your hands up and hold it. It takes 4 people to hold a 5-inch nozzle. It's got long handles, so you can have 2 people on each side holding it.
are you all cleaned up now?
Oh, yeah.
He's cleaning the bird poop.
5-inch. That's a lot of volume.
Folks, you have to
high
watch
pressure.
the morning drive
Yep.
today's episode when you go on X Media and you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, the bird is the word, you know?
We're not going to sing that song because it'll get stuck in my head for the next 10 days.
What
you,
song?
You didn't even notice I was doing that during the show.
Well,
I was like the bird is the word, and it's
Oh,
I
man.
heard it.
That's old enough.
like
It's
over
like
your head.
it's like what would you? That song is old enough to be.
3, 2, 1.
What do you call that?
retro.
No, it's
Classic.
like where people can use it. Public domain, or
Yes,
it becomes
that is,
a
that
public
is
domain because it's been around.
Iconic.
Iconic. It's been around for so long.
Yep, you have
So-
to wait certain
Oh,
years
well,
in order for
I knew it would
it
happen.
to be public domain.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, we were talking about fire hoses too. Well, this is your show, dude. This is your show. I gotta
It's
stop.
your show.
I was like, wait a minute.
The,
I feel like
I just gotta step out of that. You know, I think the only way to keep me from doing that is for me to like zoom the camera into just you. Sit here.
No, it's okay. I mean, a certain station in Detroit used to do the same thing. They would talk over one another, and it's like, hey, wait a minute. Whose show
Insert
is-
station name here.
That's right.
That's a new thing.
Yeah,
Definitely gonna
insert
start.
station name here. Not a sponsor.
Definitely gonna
So
start doing
I
that.
feel like I'm back home listening to a certain show that was really cool. And had
Was
all
it a
kinds
political
of-
show?
No, it was a fun morning show, and this guy had like several people making impressions of different people, and it was. I'll talk to you about, or tell you about it.
In Canada, right?
No, no, but actually, it
Well, you
was.
said Michigan,
Actually, there was a Canadian station that we had right there in Detroit. So
a Canadian station.
yeah, see, I can't say this because I think they're off the air.
CAAA.
No, CKLW.
Oh, I
Good
thought
morning,
it'd be
Trish.
CALW. You got to throw the A's in there because it's Canadian.
That's wow. I've never done that before. I just said good morning to somebody for the first time without them saying good morning to me.
Well, good morning.
Wow, aren't you happy?
Sorry.
Anyway, we've got a very special show for you.
8:15 or 9:15.
Yep,
Calling Brian Duncan.
yep. We have a contemporary Christian artist, Brian Duncan, is going to be joining
What's
me
going
on the phone from
B-Roy?
California. And he was on the show a few weeks ago, but actually he called in late, so we didn't get very much time with him. So he has agreed to come back on and talk. I've got a few more questions, and hopefully we'll have time to get them all taken care of. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask Brian, go ahead and let us know, and we'll be sure to ask him. And we'd love to hear from you anyway. And by the way, we need some money here by the end of the April. Is that it? Is matching dollar for dollar? Go ahead and talk.
April 30th. From now until April 30th, every dollar donated, you can donate on axmediagroup.com. You can donate by just credit card, or you can go to PayPal. O'Brien Duncan. Well, tell him I'm getting ready to call him right now. Sorry, we should have done that already. We got started a little bit late. It's my
Yep.
fault. It's always my fault.
Well, I wasn't here at all. So
So it's not your fault then.
The bird wasn't here either.
Brighter
we were waiting on the
living
bird.
live.
We were
I
waiting on the
wasn't
bird.
here either.
What was I even getting ready to do?
I'm not here.
Oh,
We all started without me anyway, so I see how it is.
well,
Yeah, they
you know.
started without me too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm crushed.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
well, he got pooped on, so.
Yeah. Nothing. Hey, getting pooped on trumps everything.
All right, is he ready for me to call him?
That's right.
So yeah, that put this link up there. You can donate via PayPal or by
library.
credit card. This for the rest of this month. It's dollar for dollar, and we really need you guys' help in partnering with us. You can set up a one-time donation, or you can do a monthly donation, which would be great. So, anyways, we'll talk more about that later. For right now, I need to call Brian Duncan for my buddy here.
Yeah. Well, that is true. Getting pooped on does trump all. I mean, it really
Yeah.
stinks.
Pretty crappy.
Anyways,
Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was thinking 9:15 my time, but then you said 9:15 Central. I'm going. Okay, I'm a little confused. I don't know what time.
Join the party.
So it's early.
But no, thank you very much for coming back on. I know it was a little short the last time you was on, so we wanted to give you more time.
Was I late last time? I feel like I
Yes.
did that.
Yeah, you came on about 35 minutes into the show, and no, that's okay. You were waiting for a phone call. You said from a musician or artist that you were talking to. You're waiting for a call, and I think you got the times mixed up. That's all.
Could it? Yeah, because I'm not usually late.
No, you're usually on time, aren't you?
Yeah, which is a rare thing for a musician, I suppose, but such as me. If I'm late, I usually miss the flight, and then I don't make the gig.
Oh man, that's really bad.
We're always on time here.
Yeah, right.
You missed what he said about
What?
he's usually on time, and he said, which is unusual for a musician.
Which is it is unusual for musicians.
Well, Brian, Matt here, he's a musician, so I think he can relate.
Hey, Brian.
Which
Long
is
time no see.
unusual that we would have two musicians who are always on time
yeah.
on the same show at the same time.
Good thing I'm not that unusual.
Right.
Yeah, I think I don't. The guys that in my band that
I
can't
can
make it on
relate.
time usually get fired.
Him. Yeah.
Wow.
I was just trying to do a word pun. I can relate to that.
Get it? Oh, I get
Oh,
it.
man.
Late. Relate.
It's early for that.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's the best response I've ever got.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got some questions for him.
Yeah,
This is your
you,
show.
You've had some interesting situations going on lately with you, and I'm praying for you. And I guess you're a grandpa now, or you will be, or you are.
It's becoming a regular occurrence. I celebrated my first granddaughter's birthday last couple days ago. She's 5, but since then she has a sister now who's not quite 1, and then I had a grandson on Leap Day this year.
Oh my.
This is my first grandson, and then I've got another one coming in July. It's like a population explosion.
And that's for, your youngest, right? Your youngest daughter?
My youngest daughter has 2 girls. My other daughter is going to have one in July, and my
Wow.
oldest son has got one. Yeah, I got to tell you, everybody always coos about their grandkids and stuff, but I see the replacements coming.
Yeah, it's going to be
Coop.
fun at Christmas time, though, isn't it?
Well, don't kid yourself. I've got a wife that spends money on those kids every single day. There's some kind of special event. I'm going, babe, we need to curb our spending habits in the quarantine mode.
Yeah. How are you surviving with this quarantine?
I'm climbing the walls like every musician I know. I haven't done a live concert for 2 months, and it's just weird feeling. It feels like unemployment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your hands and arms are a little weaker too if you're a guitarist, and you don't play as much.
Well, most of us as musicians are trying to figure out the technology to do a decent concert online at this point, and so I'm face down on a computer screen most of the time.
Well, if you have any questions, I can help you.
I've got too many questions.
Oh man,
How to get a bird out of a studio.
yes. Oh, that's for another show.
He opened the window.
So Brian, I've got a few questions here. I'm not going to try to repeat the same ones, but from the last time, I'm sure you understand. So, how did you get started in the industry?
You know, the funny thing is, if you ask me the same question 5 times, I'd give you 5 different answers. Because I get bored with my own life. You know, most of the time, you know, you spend all your time promoting yourself, and eventually you say, look, I'm sick of me. How did I get my start? I don't know. I grew up in church, you know, so I grew up in, you know, Pentecostal church world. So, you know, screaming was just a natural matter of fact. And, but I grew up on the radio, like my generation all did, you know, usually listening to the heathen stations under the covers late at night.
Well,
So
you know,
I kind of, first time I heard James Brown screaming, you know,
Yeah.
he sounded a lot like my dad. but
Hey!
He was a
Yeah.
Pentecostal preacher.
Get up!
That was great stuff.
Get on up! Get on up! Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I can't scream this early in the
great
morning, but I feel good. You know, it sounds like my father. And then, of course, I grew up on the funk stuff. You know, I loved Motown, and later it was Sly and the Family Stone and James Brown and Al Green, and you know, so.
So you were
Yeah.
dancing and moving around quite a bit, I bet. And what'd you
Well,
think?
yeah.
What'd you think
there
of
was-
Cordless when it came along?
Well, there was a disappointment in the fact that I was a white guy.
Right.
Come on.
yes, that's where Mr. Bailey's Daughter. I love that song. Mr. Bailey's Daughter. Is that kind of where that came from? Was that where you got the idea for that song?
I don't remember how we came up with that. You know, a lot of people were doing, you know, rap music was starting to become a regular occurrence on the radio, and then there was Def Comedy Jam, you know, Def Poetry. That's what it was.
Right.
Where these guys would tell these stories, you know, in kind of a rhyming fashion, and I thought it was pretty cool, you know, because I mean, the thing is, if you put it in
It's really
kind
hard
of
to
a
do.
rap style, it has a way of drawing you in. So I did a 3.5-minute testimony of growing up.
Wow, it does. It sounded great. I mean, my friend Cindy, who you already know, Cindy Flowers from Michigan, she just loves that song too. So, who are your musical influences? I guess you've already said James Brown and Sly, and so is there any others?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Hey.
I also love the rock and roll stuff, you know, and I was in the Sweet Comfort Band in the early days, and we listened to Toto and Kansas and, you know, the rock and roll groups, the pop rock
Africa.
stuff. But then I was addicted to Steely Dan stuff. I couldn't play any of it, but I always listened to them. So now I go back and listen to songs that I wrote later in my early solo career, and I can hear where I stole that. It's like the song "Blue Skies." You know, the bass line in "Blue Skies" is you can sing "Ruby Baby" over it from Donald Fagen's record.
Wow. So that's okay. Just like there was another one that sounds like there's a group out there, and I can't remember the name of the group that. But it sounds one of the songs that you do sounded just like that. I'm like, wow, that. If I remember it, Brian, I'll let you, or I'll ask you about it.
Well, I can tell you a couple of them that are real obvious. We did a song called "After This Day Is Gone."
That's it.
Yeah, and it sounds remarkably like "Tears for Fears."
That's the song.
You know, that song was, you know, already, you know, the original song was called "After This Love Is Gone," and it was pitched to me, and I didn't like the idea of, you know, dismissing love, you know, like it was yesterday's news. So I changed it to "After This Day Is Gone" instead. But, you know, you can hear, not too many people have found it, but Eddie Money also recorded the same song.
Really? I don't think I've ever heard it. He doesn't. We've never heard that on the air. I don't think he's ever. Has he? Have we ever had that on the radio before? The Eddie Money?
No.
Okay.
No, it was probably an obscure song for him. It was a #1 song for me. So
Yes,
but,
it
you know,
was.
it's a whole different thing, you know. And I got to tell you, that song is one of the many that I've written that almost sounds prophetic now. In light of the virus and the quarantine and all that, I believe after this day is gone, I could change it to month. You know, after this month is gone, there's still a place in your heart for me.
Amen. So, out of the 18 solo albums you've recorded, which album and song stands out for you?
That would be a hard thing. That'd be like picking your favorite child, I think.
Yes.
My personal favorite project was probably The Anonymous Confessions of a Lunatic Friend. Longest record title I've ever put up, and but you know, it was the first time I realized, wow, I could get some really good players on my project. In fact, I got a chance to have the drummer from Toto play on my project, as well as some other monster players. That, you know, unless you were a musician, you wouldn't know their names, but I know them. And you know, you stand in the corner when they're in the studio and go,
Hey,
"I
Brian?
can't believe this is happening."
Hey, Brian, this is Matt. Do you have the audio playing in the background?
No, I have nothing playing in the background.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard an echo. But yeah, I'm sorry. Never mind.
There's a bird singing out here.
That's what it is. That's what it is. We're a little bird shy in here today
We had a bird fly in our studio here earlier.
and pooped on my son.
I sit on the back porch, and there's this one bird, and she sings all day long. She never stops, and I'm going, wow, I wish I had that kind of optimism.
I mean, just singing all day long. Yeah, you know, it is hard to pick. You've got so many albums that have come out, and there's a lot of, you know, I'm the same way. I've got so many favorites of yours that I can't really name one because they're all good. But Lunatic Friend, that's where Mr. Bailey's Daughter, is that the one that is on your Lunatic Friend?
I'm not sure which record that. I think it's earlier than that, but I'm not sure.
Or it might be Strong Medicine.
I've got 22 albums out now, and I don't remember one from the list at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did go from 18 to 22. I was anyway. Yeah, they're all great. I mean, we all need is a beautiful song. Blessed Are the Tears. I guess you said. I thought I heard you say something about you were putting together, or you're kind of remixing Blessed Are the Tears. Is that it?
Well, we released an album called Shine last year about this time, and what we did is, I put a couple of new songs on there, but I wanted to re-record some of the high water marks of, you know, what's been the most popular. Blessed Are the Tears was one of them, and when I turned to you from the Quiet Prayers project, a lot of those early songs were done with loops and, you know, computer generated sounds, and I wanted to do them with a live band, you know, because it has a more timeless effect.
Yeah. Wow. So you've been the lead singer of the Sweet Comfort Band. When did you perform as a group, and have you had a reunion, or has there been talk of having one?
We've done a couple of reunion concerts. You know, we're too old to go out on the road for 6 weeks. You know, everybody's moving awful slow these days.
Not Walker, but, you know, slow.
Yeah. But, you know, Kevin Thompson, the bass player, we got together to do a new record because he, you know, was facing some real medical problems, and we were going to try to raise some money for that. But he died during the project. You know, he was already paralyzed as a result of diabetes and, you know, ongoing problems. So, but the record is killer. It's called When The Waiting Is Over is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And it's better than the records we did in the early days, because now we have a collective 90 years of experience in recording.
Wow. So over the years, you've worked with many talented background singers and bands like Anointed, Allies, and Neo Soul. Do you still keep in contact with them?
It depends on the person. Allies, of course, Randy Thomas was in that band. He wanted me to be in that band when they started. We were going to call it the Duncan Thomas Alliance, but I was breaking out into a rash just thinking of being in a band. I'd been in one for 12 years, and I'm going, I don't want to be in a band anymore. So he had Bob Carlisle come on board, and we had used Bob Carlisle for years doing background vocals. He's spectacular. So I keep in touch with Bob on a pretty regular basis. He's a good friend. Randy is also. The Anointed guys I don't see, but they're on the East Coast, and then that band split up, so they're kind of scattered all over the place.
Yeah, Steve and his sister, and I know that they. It was. Go ahead.
I talked to Steve Taylor, first time in about 20 years. I hadn't heard from him for a long time, and we crossed paths on the phone a couple days ago. Steve Taylor was my first solo tour. I opened for him on the Frick project. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't changed much. He's got that same, tongue-in-cheek sarcasm.
Yeah, he's got some great songs too.
Yeah.
I guess some life-changing lyrics like yourself. And in recent years, you've changed your concert format, relying on social media. After going independent, has it been difficult making that change after being with labels for so long?
Oh my gosh, it's a can of worms. Honestly, when downloads first started coming out and music streaming apps, it just killed us. It killed most musicians, and it probably took me 10 years just to figure out what we were going to do from there. I had to learn about crowdfunding and online presentations and, how do we make a record when we have a quarter of the budget we used to have? And, of course, CDs stopped selling. We sell mostly downloads. We still send out CDs because my crowd is a CD crowd still, but it took a long time to figure out that learning curve. And now, with the coronavirus and not being able to do live concerts for maybe the next year, we're kind of in the same boat again. God never wanted us to stay in the same place. He keeps ruining our routines. Because I was talking to God the other day, and he said, if I didn't interrupt your routines, you'd still be making the same mess.
That's with the new social media and everything, everybody's trying to, I don't hear much about piracy anymore, so that's a good thing. Now, they're coming back out with albums and the vinyls.
My kids, my oldest son, who has the grandson now, he just discovered vinyl. It's like, he calls me up a couple of days ago, and he plays something from the Sweet Comfort Band because he found it in a bin somewhere. It's a vinyl record, and he's going, Dad, listen to this. I'm going, dude, I was there when it happened.
The first time I heard you was, I think it was the second album, The Holy Rollin'. The Holy Rollin', was that your second album?
Yeah.
Because the first one was...
Have Yourself Committed.
Yeah, Have Yourself Committed. Those are two great classic albums. And I heard, I Want to Know What's Right. Is that how you say it? I chopped that song up, didn't I? The title.
I don't know what song we're talking about.
I want to know what's right from your Holy Rollin'.
Oh yeah, Only Want to Do What's Right.
Right, correct.
That was the first time I got Tower of Power to come in and play horn section stuff on it.
Yeah, that was a great song. That was the first song I'd heard from you, and I was like, man, who is this guy?
It's white funk music. It hasn't been real popular in church, by the way.
No. Yeah. So, do you have any projects you're currently working on, and are they being released soon?
Well, like I said, everything I do now is crowdfunding, and it takes longer to generate enough cash flow to get records done. Like I said, we released after 3 years. We released the Shine project, which is really nice, but it's a full band, horn section, and the works. Like 8 singers, where we did it almost live. And right now I've been doing so many funerals in the last couple of years that are requesting old hymns. I just did an arrangement of "I Come to the Garden Alone" and "The Old Rugged Cross," because that was the last concert that I did, was actually a funeral back in February. So we just thought, well, might as well record those, put a lot of time into the arrangement. And I've been writing worship and praise songs for my church because I'm home a lot. So I mean, right now, the project that it looks like it might be a piano and vocal only approach to, an unplugged sound that's hymn generated, and I've written a couple of new songs that are staggeringly good, if I say so myself. I mean, I don't like all my material, trust me, but I have one called "I Run to You," that's probably on par and similar in style to "I Love You with My Life."
Wow.
Sounds beautiful.
So I guess we're going to ask you, what's the best place to get a hold of you? BrianDuncan.com?
Yeah, spell Brian with a Y. That's
Yeah.
all. BrianDuncan.com.
Had it
You can
down.
find everything that I'm doing right there. And when you support my next project, we usually send you clips of the song ideas before they're recorded. I have probably 2 hours of material that I haven't recorded yet.
Yeah, I guess there's a Christmas. Are you working on a Christmas album? I thought I read that.
We started to do that, and then again, the crowdfunding thing is going to be hard to model with the economic downturn that we're facing right now. But yeah, we started to look at doing a new Christmas record. I have a couple of a cappella things that I did with a group called Straighter Road. That's spectacular. It's just all vocal, and it's we recut a couple of Christmas songs with them, and I've got a couple other ones that I haven't finished yet because the funding wasn't there.
Yeah, I think I heard a clip. I think I heard the Bells on Christmas Day. Was that one of them?
Yeah, that's it. I heard the Bells was one, and we did Please Come Home for Christmas.
Yes, that was great. So, all right, what was your inspiration behind the song "I Will Shine"? By the way.
I went to Washington State, and I did some co-writing with Scott Crepane. You might remember him.
Right.
He had some records out, but he's a really good writer, and we were sitting in his studio, and we got to talking about how many people we know that are fighting cancer or who have lost the battle to cancer. And yeah, we buried a lot of friends in the last 5 years. So we decided to write a song that would be kind of a theme song for ourselves, just to get us through the hardships we're all facing. It's not just cancer now. It's it's worried about virus problems and unseen enemies, and we're finding, at least I'm finding, I need to encourage myself to continue to do something that's positive and not sit around and complain about everything. So "I Will Shine" was based on that. There's a great line in there that says, now it's a darker sky than all the stars can fill in at night, but the sun doesn't whine, say I'm refusing to shine. I thought that was pretty fun, and it's a reminder to ourselves to find new ways to be positive and upbeat and bring the message of salvation and redemption, because I mean, at the end of the day, redemption is everything, and salvation is not an option.
Right. So, what's next for you, Brian?
I have absolutely no idea. I'd love
Good
to sound
answer.
like a positive
It's hurry up and wait.
I've been reading a lot of devotionals because I'm at home all the time, and trying to stay fed. The Bible says to, I will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on me. And I was reading this morning that seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And I'm going, so I'm in step one process of that, to see. Oswald Chambers says the more you serve God, the more vague His purposes are, because a lot of times He'll ask you to do something out of obedience that doesn't make an ounce of sense. And I think that's where we are right now, especially
done
like
that.
online church, and trying to figure out, well, how do we fellowship one with another at 6 feet distance?
Yes. It's very hard to do when you're so used to giving somebody a hug or a fist bump or whatever, and now with no churches being able to come together, it's really hard.
Well, churches are getting a real lesson in online technology and presentation, and that has been a steep learning curve for a lot of churches. And, as soon as I get through my own recovery process, I've got to go back in and probably sing at my church online. It's an interesting thing to play to an empty church. I mean, you'd be kind of disappointed about that, but now you have to pretend like everybody's there.
Right. Well, Brian, we all appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on and taking time to come back on and talk to me and to the audience here. And we're in Springfield, Missouri, and I'm hoping that you get a chance to, whether it's crowdfunding or whatever, get a chance to come over here and do a concert.
No, I'm going to be looking for work desperately after this. Please bring me in. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll try to bring you to Branson too. There's a lot of musicians coming into Branson now that are Christian oriented, and so.
Well, I'm open, and my schedule is kind of wide open right now. You can get almost any day, and I think airfares are a lot cheaper too, on the expense end.
All right. Well, Brian, you take care of yourself, and we'll be in touch. And I thank you for your time.
Hey, this has been fun. I always wanted to be a radio guy because I always hear them, talking over a music bed, and I'm going, wow, I wish I could do that all the time. I just carry a piece of music around while I'm talking.
This is more like a news and information.
Yeah, we do music sometimes. Sometimes I bring Neil guitar on.
It's a talk show, so I'll have to make my own music.
Yeah, that would be great. You can make us some music if you like. Yeah, some music for the shows would be great.
Hey, that'd be awesome. Talk to Chris Redner, right?
Yes. Reddy has my back, and he has a whole collection of video clip and audio things that we do for radio. We do radio IDs too, by the way.
What is radio IDs?
What's a radio ID?
What's that?
What's a radio ID?
A radio ID is where I say, "Hi, I'm Brian Duncan, and you're listening to these guys."
Yeah, that's what I actually wanted you to do. I couldn't get you ahead of time to have you say welcome to Brighter Living, but maybe we can do a short thing like that and have you bring it in, send it MP4 or MP3.
Yeah, I use an app called Twisted Wave, and it sends it to you via email. So if you send your email to me, you can text it to me, and I'll send you. Send me what you want me to say on there, and
Okay.
I will send it to you.
Okay, sounds great. All right, again, thanks, Brian, and say hello to the wife, and we'll be praying for you, and hopefully things will get turned around here soon.
Yeah. Well, and if they don't, we'll go someplace else. It'll be boldly go where no man has gone before.
We could do cruising. We can go on a cruise.
Fields are ready for harvest.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I don't think I'm going to get on a cruise ship anytime.
Yeah, that's where it all started. All right. Take care of yourself.
All right, God bless you guys.
Thank you.
You too.
You too.
Bye bye. And that was Brian Duncan, contemporary Christian artist, who's been around for quite a while. Now it's 22
I'm gonna make
albums.
some noise.
Yeah.
It's been 22 albums now instead of 18. So I just was reading 18, but he did say that the last time. He said he's got 22 albums out. Conversations is one of the newest ones, and then Shine is the brand new one. And you've got to check out the songs. They're really cool. They really are. And you can still buy, like he said, you can still buy his stuff online. And some of them are out of print now. There's 2 albums now that are out of print that you can't get anywhere except through him.
Well, we still got about 7 minutes.
What are we going to do?
I don't. Let me go try to see if I can get another bird in here.
No, that's okay. One bird, one
bird, one show. One shot,
bird.
one kill.
Poor Tanner.
You know, I'm hearing these. I'm hearing. I like see these birds, like even the wild turkeys. I'm like, boy, that would look great on my smoker.
You know, that's probably what they do.
Got a bunch of little
one
finches.
Of them came back and said, "I'll show you."
Yeah.
And then got Tanner instead.
Here's what I think about you guys.
I had a
Well,
turkey fly down across the road in front of me from a hill.
Yeah.
Came down and flew.
They're
right
big
across in
birds.
front of me.
Yeah.
That'd be
I saw
terrifying
wild
if it just
turkeys.
flew right over you.
It was on the way here.
Flew right in front of me.
Friday.
They're
I was
everywhere.
riding.
It's getting ready to be turkey season, isn't
Pretty
it?
cool.
Or is winter turkey season?
Winter. I thought November's definitely turkey season, but I didn't know if there was another season besides.
Isn't there a difference between bow hunting turkey season and gun hunting turkey
Bow
season?
is in October and gun is in November.
Bit of interesting information for you. Turkeys can see color, right?
So
So
don't wear orange.
you can't wear the orange. That's why they have camo. They have these really cool things you throw over your shoulders. All right, so everybody's in full camo hunting
Right.
turkey. When you get the turkey, because of all the feathers and everything, and you don't want to be seen at a couple hundred yards, somebody thinking you're a turkey, carrying it on your back, has this thing that you pull, the sling comes up over the turkey and holds it on your back, but the outside of it is bright orange, fluorescent orange. So that way they can tell it's a hunter, not
You're
a
right.
turkey.
Yeah, because you don't want to get shot.
My grandpa said turkeys are so dumb back in the day. He said that a turkey will look up while it's raining and drown.
Mic drop.
In retrospect, I think he might have been messing with me.
Yeah.
That dead air was.
I
perfect.
want to give due credit, and I'm sure Rachel's still probably watching. She's the one that helped me.
The wifey?
What?
The wifey?
The wifey. She helped me put together the script for Brian Duncan and the questions, and I love you for it, and I appreciate you doing that for me.
Great
Yes.
questions, I thought too.
Yeah, I mean, I put the questions together, but she just texted them down. And I said, I wrote them down on paper, and I said, you might as well put them on the phone. It'll be much easier. So she's the one that did all that for me.
Well done.
So and that's what I'm saying. Well, Jay, what's up for you for the rest of the week?
The morning drive.
The morning
mostly,
drive.
Coming in
Well,
here.
that's true.
And then going to work.
Yeah, I'm still glad you're working. Seriously, I'm glad you're still working.
Yeah, thank God for that because it's an important thing for me. It does make you realize, what your financial position is. When things are kind of easier, you don't realize as much what risks you're taking, like, say, if you borrow money or anything like that. And because then paying it back becomes an issue, possibly. So I feel for all the people right now who are out of work.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension. I mean, I can't believe there's been shootings in Houston, in Canada, and I mean, I think people are really getting fed up and they're tired, especially in Michigan. We got to pray for the people in Michigan. Seriously, they're really they're the strictness of the
Is it a
COVID-19
liberal
are-
state or a conservative one? I thought they voted Trump, didn't they?
Generally, they're conservative. The weird thing about Michigan is, and I've met a lot of people from Michigan, is there's a lot
All
of
Canadians are weird.
there's a
Just kidding.
lot of
Sorry. if you're from Canada, I'm just joking.
There's a lot of like you would expect it to be
Love Canada.
more conservative, and that's generally what people that I know identify as from there. But they have a lot of views that most people in this area would consider a little bit more.
No, I thought they
left-leaning.
expected Michigan to go to Clinton.
Yeah, well, I
Back
thought
in the
I thought it was a Democratic state because they got
I
the
thought so,
UAW there, and
Right.
they're Democratic.
Oh, look
but-
at their governor right now.
Yeah, so I'm wondering about that.
So I'm not sure. I think a lot of people are just very. I think there's over 200,000 signatures for her to be recalled, the governor.
Yeah.
And there is so much tension going on. People are just getting tired. I mean, she went, I think, overboard. Even Trump,
think-
I think, said that she went overboard
Yeah.
on being strict.
He sent everybody a message.
one thing about
On Facebook.
one thing about this is
Yeah, he did.
that I've been thankful for is how there's been people who are saying that Trump isn't being harsh enough, but the thing is like he's leaving a lot.
Oh, no, it
he's
wasn't
leaving
about
it to
that.
he's leaving it to the
It
states.
was about the gun
which
rights
is-
in Virginia.
He's leaving it to the states, which is a good thing because it's really delegating the powers back to where a lot of the powers ought to be that other presidents weren't doing for a while.
I'm going to really quick do a recant on what I just said. He didn't send out a message about Michigan. I want to make sure everybody's clear on that. He sent a message out on Facebook about the gun rights under siege in Virginia.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's what he really did. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know how they can. If there's a quarantine and people can't get out, I don't know how they can. I don't know why they can still legally take a vote.
I don't
Because
know.
people
Yeah.
can't go demonstrate. They can't go into,
Right. No
That's
president.
why they did it.
Well, yeah.
That's
well,
how they
the
were able to
issue
do
is-
it.
they can't present their case and argue
His exact
their
words
case.
were, and this is Donald Trump. I follow him on Facebook, and said the Second Amendment is under siege.
Yes.
Is he going to go in there
Right
and do
now.
something about it?
I hope so.
Well, the
I
thing
mean, there's elections, but they can't.
they can't do that.
Even if they pass a law, if it violates our Second
Right.
Amendment rights, it's null and void, right?
So,
It's
well,
void.
the issue of it with the issue about that is, and
We
it's a
got, like, 2
complicated
minutes.
thing, is the founders never intended on people going against the Constitution. So what we do now is, or what the legal system does now is they just don't represent it in a court. They just don't accept it in a court. But the problem with that is the state and local courts are going to. It depends on the judge, on whether they respect that or not, which is the issue.
Which the judges should. I don't know. They're about upholding the Constitution, right?
Yeah.
They should be.
The Supreme Court,
state or federal
especially.
constitution.
The Supre-
The Constitution talks about state and federal. The Constitution was an agreement between the states. These are our unifying beliefs. These are our powers that are delegated to us. And if we overstep them, then we are infringing on the rights of the people.
Wow, we went from Brian Duncan to political news. But that's okay.
Oh, okay, good. Whew, I thought I had the camera zoomed in on you the whole time we were talking about that.
Oh,
But we didn't. I'm not saying you're a bad-looking guy. I'm just saying
well, thank you.
all they would have seen was the side of Jay's head and my hands talking whenever I talk. Like, you know,
Yeah, well, President Trump has a hand
he always
gesture.
does this.
Yeah. Or like this. Anyway, thank you, folks, for joining us here on. I almost said the morning drive.
It's basically, I mean, it's the extended version.
Thank you for joining us on Brighter Living Live. And I hope you guys have a brighter day and brighter week. And God loves you, and so do we. And I'm Steve.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jay.
I'm Tanner.
And thank you for watching Brighter Living Live. Have a great day. Bye-bye.